We're going to present our study on the consonant sounds of a child with a cleft lip and palate. How intelligible are they? Presented by Andre Anugrah, Juwintan, and Devi Kusrini, with the initial presentations delivered by me. Okay. Generally, children with a cleft lip and palate, cleft lip with or without a cleft palate or a cleft palate alone, often have a problem with feeding and speaking clearly. And it can have ear infections depend on the damage level. Compared to other speech disorder, cleft lip and palate are most like to bring about the most devastating problem of speech productions. The protuberance is just given rise due to this damaged articulatory matter are on the accounts of quantity as well as the quality of one's articulatory places potentials to be damaged as a child born with this problem. Producing consonant sound like stopping, retaining, interrupting, diverting, and restricting shall be the most problematic issues experienced by children with born with these conditions. The more consonants are weaned or fail being produced, the more presumable one's speech understandability subsides. Since consonants are not proportionally articulated, another big issue named speech intelligibility, which is rather related to their listener, is very likely to take place. We have three research questions as a formulations of the research. First, how are consonant sounds articulated by a child with cleft lip and palate? And the second one, what the consonant sounds appear to be misarticulated and altered? And the third, how intelligible is the child's speech to this listener? For the significance of this research, first, to raise sense of understanding about the children born with these conditions, I mean, in this case, is a cleft lip and palate, and the second to anticipate a consonant, and the third to remedies error.
Okay, thank you. I will continue the presentation regarding the methodology used in this research. This research uses a qualitative case study method with one participant. This participant is a 7-year-old child who was born with labiopalatoschisis and has undergone a pair of oral surgeries. We've got two data. Here is the first primary data dealing with the realization the phonemes produced by this child, with the focus on consonant production as reflected in the initial research formulation. The second data were gathered from some informants selected purposefully based upon the criteria for judging the speech or pronunciation intelligibility of this participant's speech performance. The data were collected in 3 ways and utilizing customized instruments. First, a casual conversational instruments designed to obtain natural data in real-life circumstances. Second, a read out loud instruments. And the last, a short interview session with the select informants. The data were analyzed to a transcription and consonant analysis, and intelligibility rating will be rating by iterators.
Moving into finding of the research in response to the first research question, the realizations of consonant phonemes at face value appear to be well phonated, well produced and well phonated, as reflected in the display data in the table. Can you move? Among the display consonants, there were for sure some sounds in certain matters, as well as places of articulation that were misarticulated and altered. The typical and conspicuous cases of the sound production are related to the second research questions with reference to the misarticulated and altered sounds, especially in terms of the consonants. Okay, can you move to the next slide? Okay. So in some places, the child emphasized the whole word of some words by adding an extra or sounds and over palatalize the th sound in the words, such as batu. It turned out to be batu. Okay, badai, Okay, so the final th sound, for example, in the word kerabat, it became kerabat instead of kerabat, but okay, it became somewhat glottalized, right? And little palatalized, seeming to contain some extra added consonants aside from the plosive, such as in this sentence, main di masjid sama sepeda ustadzah. Okay, so there was an insertion of a parenthesis of another consonants into that, and it was prolonged. K, g, and were over aspirated. A nasal such as in the negation ga, which was altered into nga. Okay, the miss g, another g sound, took place in this condition. And for approximant r, and for yeah, because in most places and z misarticulated, and the matter of form prolongation, there came an additional filler sound preceding the alveolar sound. For example, in the word sutsu. Okay, the approximant r was often preceded by a glottal stop. For example, in the word ru. Okay, ru. And for the second, for the third recent question, it was found out that the intelligibility, the iterators had a word in common. Okay, the iterators, the ones judging the intelligibility, have a word in common, that more than 80% of the speech rendered by this child with this condition was intelligible for them. The first iterator, a stranger to the child, shed light that after listening to the recordings several times, she came to a decision that the entire speech was 80% intelligible to her. Right? Even though the rest of the person might sound less intelligible, but not completely unintelligible. And the second writer, also a stranger to the child, raised the percentage of intelligibility into 90% even, only 10% being unintelligible to her, or even just less intelligible. And the last iterators, the third and the fourth iterators, came to a decision that 99% of the whole speech production, especially in consonant production, was intelligible for both of them. Right. It might be due to their position, where they manage to meet each other or one another on daily or even hourly basis. And I have some critical points to address. Learn from the glean data for sure. There are some points worth taking into account, especially with reference to how the life of a child born with this condition should be taken care of. The first one, don't let the cleft in the lip or in the palate, okay, worsen and harder. It means that earlier medication interventions will assist or help immensely. Okay, and the second one, the hype that nasality is always the case in this research. It was not the case. Okay, this was not the case. So issues should be addressed in a customized manner. It means that one child born with this condition should be treated differently from another child born with the same condition. Okay, family and social roles are also important. They play a great role in cutting back the potential effect of social isolation for the listeners, okay, not to be able to understand this child's speech. And the last one, training, especially in terms of oral articulatory training, should nothing less be important, okay, because it can strengthen the articulatory organs being weakened due to this condition.
Okay, from the finding explanations by Mr. Andre Anugrah, we can conclude that some consonants were still performed repulsively, in particular in the bilabial, alveolar, and velar sounds, not to mention as the sound were performed at a greater speed. In the term of his intelligibility, all the raters in charge of judging his speech intelligibility asserted that the entire speech render was intelligible to them with approximate percentage of 80 until 99% being intelligible. In order to cut back on the number of consonants that are potential to be less intelligible, single sounds rhyming and consonant phonations. For further research, developmental research concerned with customized phonetic training models for children with severe cleft lip and palate is definitely worth carrying out. Okay, that's all from us. Thanks for listening up and good day.